Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Himalayan here in Abuja, and it's good to be back with you. Thank you so much. Well, I said something on the social media earlier, a few hours ago, that I have something to tell you. Before I get to bring you the program tonight, lend me your attention, everyone, for a moment. There were stories making the rounds that I was sacked from my employment here at Channels Television. Are you ready for the truth, Nigerians? Well, that was not true, and it is far from the truth. Was I sacked? Absolutely no. Dear viewers and audience of our beloved Politics Today and Sunday Politics and Channels Television, viewers, wherever you may be tonight, I'm deeply touched by your concern and kind words during my absence from the screen for several weeks, which sounds unusual to some of you. Your unwavering belief in the Nigerian dream and resilience in the face of challenges inspire me every day. I want to assure you that Channels Television as a media organization operates with the highest standards of fairness and integrity. And as much as I know in the last 12 years or so that I have joined Channels Television, this network has shown me that decisions regarding staff are made with great care, and issues like sacking or dismissal are rare and only taken in extreme situations. Please be rest assured that my absence was not due to any form of dismissal, but rather a period of necessary personal, family reflection and growth. Your confidence in me strengthens my resolve to continue advancing the truth and providing authentic information to the public and Nigerians, wherever they may be on the globe, as guaranteed by our Constitution. Well, it's one of the few professions in the world that is guaranteed in the Constitution of Nigeria. And I owe that dearly, and of course, I do not take it for granted. I remain dedicated to holding the government accountable for the people's interests, especially during these tough economic and social times. Together, we will stand strong, ensuring that the voice of the Nigerian people is heard and respected. Thank you for your unwavering support and for standing by me and Channels Television. We remain committed to delivering news that empowers and informs our beloved nation. Nigeria will be better for it. Well, everyone, to the business of the night. So much to talk about, and I'm bringing you, well, some not so good news, some that will also brighten your day as far as the progress of our nation is concerned. So tonight, I have two guests for you, and the two of them don't mince words. They are hard eaters in every right. So sit down, everyone, and stay with me, because we shall be dealing with some of these issues in this next 1 hour or so. But first, before we get to meet my guests tonight, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, is asking the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and the Standards Organization of Nigeria to guarantee that PMS imported into the country is rigorously tested in laboratories to meet the standard sulfur and octane levels. The Deputy Speaker stated this in his opening address at the inaugural meeting of the House of Representatives Joint Midstream and Downstream Committee investigating challenging developments in downstream midstream sector. Reacting to the difficulties encountered by domestic refiners in assessing reliable supplies of crude oil, Honorable Kalu wants the pricing model from the oil producers not to hinder domestic refineries.
The quality of petroleum products imported into Nigeria has come under scrutiny, and we must ensure compliance with global standards.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has declined to bar Governor Siminayi Fubara for spending government funds pending the hearing and determination of a suit as filed by the Martin Amewule-led River State House Assembly. Ruling on the motion ex parte, Justice Emeka Nwite declined to grant the prayers, though he ordered the plaintiffs to put the defendants on notice. Justice Nwite, however, granted the motion ex parte to set the 5th and 10th defendants in the matter by substituted means. Meanwhile, some women from the South region have called for peace in the political face-off between Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The women made their appeal at a news conference in Abuja, calling for both parties to sheath their swords and prioritize the needs of the people in the state. The leaders of the group says the women and children are always the casualties of unrest.
We as women and mothers know that whenever there is crisis, certain individuals take advantage of the issues to benefit themselves, and instead of looking for a solution, will fan the embers of discord so as to continue reaping and making profit from the situation while people are dying.
And in neighboring states, the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has won all the chairmanship and councillorship seats in all the 13 local government areas of the state. Announcing the results at the headquarters of the Ebonyi State Independent Electoral Commission in Abakaliki, the state capital, chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission says only 3 political parties participated in the election. They included the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA, Labour Party, and the All Progressives Congress APC. Lastly, several groups are beginning to pull out of the planned nationwide protest against bad governance. The planned protest, which has gone viral on social media, has generated some conversations in the government circle, with some appealing to citizens to give the incumbent government more time to allow its policies to come to fruition. However, speaking at separate news conferences in Abuja, members of the Northern Nigerian Youth Forum and the Mieti Ala Kauta Ore Social Cultural Association disassociated themselves from the planned protest.
Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get straight to it. Let's tell you what happened today in the Senate. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has raised an alarm over the persistent economic sabotage which has undermined investor confidence in the petroleum sector. He was declaring that at the Senate that the Senate must identify and hold those accountable for the criminal acts. Senator Akpabio made the declaration today during the inauguration of the Senate ad hoc committee to investigate alleged sabotage in the sector. At the inauguration, the Senate President said that it is not merely an investigation, but a rescue mission for the nation's future. He also adds that it is a matter of national security and sovereignty if left unchecked, and could cripple the economy for generations to come. All right, tonight, my very first guest was one of those who had written an open letter to President Bola Tinubu a few days ago. A former presidential hopeful and a publisher, a journalist who ran for the primaries of the PDP, Chief Dele Momodu, wrote an open letter telling President Bola Tinubu that Nigeria is in a big trouble. He's advising the president to enforce leadership and discipline as a leader in his party, in government, and all that. In his message titled, Urgent Message for President Tinubu, Mr. Momodu called on the president to sanction the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, arguing that he disrespected him in the Fubara matter. In the other state of the nation matter, he said, our economy has virtually collapsed. He then indicted President Tinubu, saying, you've been wasting too much money at a time that requires absolute frugality. Please stop this recklessness, propensity for wasting scarce resources. Those are some of the words of Chief Dele Momodu. I'm being joined by Chief Dele Momodu, who joins us live from our Lagos studio. It's good to see you, and thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight, Chief Dele Momodu.
Good evening, Sheung from Lagos, and you are welcome back to the land of your forefathers. We were all worried when they said you were sacked, but we're happy that you are back.
Thank you so much indeed. Let me begin and take you up quickly on some of the content of your letter, of open letter to the president. And you told the president that you know him very well, is your friend, and also that you will tell him the truth. But there are those who have criticized you that you're probably speaking as though you are an opposition. You've worked in the PDP, you've worked for Atiku Abubakar, and that those in the APC will say, oh, Dele Momodu, hold on for a moment. Allow this president to settle down and get things done. There are those who believe that Bola Tinubu is fixing Nigeria, and the fruit of his labor and his effort in governance will yield fruit. Have you listened to that narrative? And how do you reply to those?
Well, you've asked so many questions in one sentence, and my answer is very simple and straightforward. One, I did not say he is not trying, but what I'm suggesting is that there are some urgent steps I expected him to take, and those steps have not been taken. Those who say, oh, I should allow him to settle down. I've been in politics, analyzing politics in Nigeria since 1982, 42 years. And I can tell you that more often than not, the beginning always determines the end in Nigerian politics. I have no doubt in my mind that this government is not ready, and I will give you my reasons. But before I do that, let me tell you that one of the reasons it took me about a year plus to write this letter was that I listened to different people. There were people who called me directly. Some people called my family, say, oh, Tinubu is your friend. You were together in exile, and I appreciate all those sentiments. So you would have noticed that even my column on the back page of this day, I rested it in the last 1 year deliberately because I know I'll be tempted to write some things which some of these elders that I respect so much will frown at. And that's one of the reasons I didn't write anything. I remember a general, a retired general in particular, who called my wife and said, oh, no, Dele should leave Bola alone. And I said, no, I'm not holding him. All I think I owe him is to tell him the truth. Let me tell you, I started my life from Ife, from reading Professor Wole Soyinka. You can see the book does not even have a cover. I bought this book in 1978 on 24th June. The man dies in all who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. So I have seen that this government would wish, if possible, to have a one-party state. So, but why did we go to exile? Why did people die for democracy if at the end of the day, we're not going to practice democracy? Is it not hypocritical of me and the rest of us if we don't speak truth to our friend, which we were able to speak to Obasanjo, we were able to speak to Yar'Adua, we were able to speak to Jonathan, we were able to speak to Buhari. Even Buhari, who left power as an APC president, APC is attacking him today. So why should opposition, logically, not be able to speak truth to the APC ruling government? So that is where we are. And what did I say to him? That Nigeria is heading, one, in the wrong direction, heading into trouble. I saw what happened and still happening in Kenya. Oh, it's our leaders in their moment of giddiness who say, oh, it cannot happen here because we apply ethnic coloration. We have a Yoruba president, whether we like it or not, he must do his 8 years. It's enough that he's fighting. It's the obedience. I mean, all these things we've heard before. It does not help a nation. So I expect the president to do the following. One, cut the waste. It is too much. It is gargantuan. I remember Chief M.K. Abiola used to say that there is enough for the need of every Nigerian, but there is not enough for the greed of some Nigerians. Nigeria, God has given Nigeria everything that we need to survive, and not just to survive, but to make progress. But unfortunately, some politicians are not ready. They are not prepared to downgrade their lifestyle. And I keep telling them, if you know that politics is not profitable for you, you can go back to your business. I've been doing my own little business. I'm a man of modest income. I've never been in government. Tinubu was governor for 8 years in Lagos. Did you see me there? I didn't ask for appointment. Buhari that I supported, after 2 months, I saw he was going nowhere. Immediately, I apologized to Nigerians. And so why should I now keep quiet and not be able to talk to my own friend and my own brother? And some people say, oh, but you could have requested for an appointment to see him. I said, no. I will not allow myself to be blackmailed by busybodies who are waiting. Dele will soon go to Aso Rock to go and beg for appointment. And that's the cheap blackmail that we all get in Nigeria. A man who has been who has never been in power in 42 years. You are now saying he's desperate. No, I'll be 65 next year. And I have my plans already for my retirement. I've completed the leadership center in Ibadan with library, with everything. The path I've chosen for myself is different. I want to be free to tell my friends the truth, because in the future, someone will say, but you spoke about all the other leaders. How come you couldn't speak about Bola Tinubu? And that is why I am addressing this letter to the president, that please cut the waste. That is the number one. It's very urgent. Then empower our youth by igniting a vocational revolution. It's not just about people going to school. We have so many graduates, if not millions of them now, who can find jobs. There are things you can do. Now they say they are sending 50,000 naira to about 3 million Nigerians. I beg, how does that make sense in a country of over 200 million people? That money could have created more than 1 million fresh entrepreneurs who will get 1 million each immediately. And then those ones, you have the domino effect. Those ones will now employ people, 5 to 10 people each. You don't give, there is no way you just give money out as if it's water. The Buhari people did it. They will put cash on table. At this time and age, in these modern times, put cash on table, and people will queue up like beggars to come and collect 5,000 naira. It's demeaning on Nigerians. Nigerians are too brilliant, too energetic, and too ambitious for them to be reduced to robots and slaves.
Yeah. Let me jump in quickly. When some of the words you use seems to have angered some people who are supporters of the APC and who are also followers of the Bola Tinubu School of Governance. For example, when you said that this economy has virtually collapsed, there are those who say that was too dramatic and you were unfair to this government. And there are those who will say you are one of those who had said in your article, in the Pendulum, some of which I've read, you had asked for the removal of fuel subsidy. And one of your Pendulum write-ups, you had made reference to the effort of Bukola Saraki when he was Senate president, when he was on the Senate, the floor of the Senate, when he raised an alarm about the issue of the fraud on fuel subsidy. Now, there are those who had asked president in the past to remove fuel subsidy, which was largely or partly a political decision. There are those who will say every president had been asked to do it, but Bola Tinubu took the boat, and did it. There are those who will say the disparity in the FX window. Bola Tinubu came, made an economic policy, and fixed all of this. And there are those who will say, they responded to you and say, for example, the IMF projections of an economic growth in Nigeria is perhaps one of the highest for any third economy. There are those who will say the trade figures in Nigeria does not reflect what Dele Momodu is propounding. The president has said some of the policy will be like the pain of childbearing. After some time, it will bear fruit. Is it that you are being dramatic, or perhaps, according to the followers of the APC, saying that you are not speaking the truth?
Who are these followers of APC, and when did they become followers of APC? That's another matter. But I will answer you directly and frontally that when you talk about economics and the economy, they are two different things. Economics is the theoretical aspect of the economy. The economy is the practical side of economics. No matter the highfalutin theories you bring from IMF, from World Bank, as long as it does not reflect on the lives of Nigerians, you are just blowing grammar. It's all about semantics. I am telling you, sir, that there is no country. If you look at crisis from Venezuela to anywhere, even Brazil, go and read their trajectories, you will see that IMF is always a problem. During the Babangida era, I remember one of the first stories I wrote for African Concord magazine was on SAP. They told us SAP is the magic word. SAP is the only thing that will lead us to heaven and paradise. where did SAP leave Nigeria? Maybe you will remember the SAP riot of 1989. Me, I'm a good student of Nigerian history. And I know that what these people are saying, oh, just relax. Let me tell you, why would a leader be sworn in on May 29, 2023? And the first thing he will do is to give bad news to the people. You are talking about renewed hope. You did not even wait 1 second. If you rush a patient to a doctor, what's the first thing the doctor will do? The doctor will first stabilize the patient. So if they rush a patient to a doctor, and then the doctor says, oh, this guy cannot survive, he said, let's just give him injection so he can die once and for all. That's what happened on May 29, 2023. The doctor gave an injection. We killed Nigeria instantly. There was no rush. You needed to be there, since you were not there with Buhari, to know why Buhari, an army general, lacked the courage to take that decision. But because our man was goaded into believing that because you are Bola Tinubu, you can do anything and nothing will happen. Show courage, show muscle. That's what led us to this crisis. We have not recovered. Just one injection, Nigeria went into coma. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but yeah. Chief Dele Momodu, you have also inferred in that your open letter that it doesn't look like you believe in those people around the president. You have inferred in your letter that perhaps they are not telling the president the truth and they are not advising him well. Are you saying that the president does not have competent hands in his cabinet to deal with the economic situation in the country? Or what exactly are you saying in straight terms?
I am someone who believes in star-studded cabinets. If you ask me today, President Ibrahim Babangida, minus the June 12 annulment, he had one of the best cabinets in Nigeria, and he tried his best. Obasanjo, Baba, also tried his best to assemble the best. Today, and God is my witness, today, if you ask me to name 10 ministers in Tinubu's cabinet and to tell you what they did or did not do before they were appointed, I will struggle. That is the truth. And ask an average person. And I don't consider myself average not to. Look, what we have today is that someone transferred the Lagos template to Abuja. And that's why we're failing. Nigeria parades some of the greatest human beings on planet Earth. I've traveled a bit. There is nowhere up to Australia that I did not meet Nigerians doing great things. Where are those people? In today's Nigeria, it's either you are the son of, the daughter of. Nigeria cannot continue to operate on the basis of compensation. I must compensate my friend. I must compensate my former schoolmate. No. Nigeria right now is playing World Cup and you are picking weak players. No, we can't do that. And that's why I wrote that letter. A lot of the people around there now, their lives totally depend on Tinubu. They cannot tell him the truth. I know what a lot of them say behind when they see us that, we can't talk, if we talk, that is the truth. And I'm one of the people he knows. Right from when we were in exile, when he was governor for 8 years, I would tell him, I will write letters. And I'm a letter writer anyway. I write letters all the time. I wrote to President Obasanjo, I wrote to Buhari, I wrote all of them, Jonathan. And that is why I'm also writing to a man that I know we've come way back. If he's watching, he knows that I always tell him.
Chief Momodu, you have proffered some solutions just before when you're premising your stance about what this government is doing. And for me, the conversation is not about political party right now. It's about our nation, because we are in some kind of doldrum. And either we like it or not, we need a way forward. If there is one thing that this president needs to do right now to really get this nation working, because we are the giant of Africa, we cannot be behaving like dwarfs and behaving as though we do not have the capacity in our potential as a people. If he is to make any decision that will have a drastic difference in our nation today, what would that be?
Kill this profligacy. That is number one. The economy, no matter what you do, continue to borrow money to fund lifestyle. Nigeria will continue to fail. So the president must make that personal choice and personal sacrifice by calling his people to order and making himself a scapegoat. If I were in his shoes, that's the first thing I will do to make sure. Look at this issue of presidential jet. People shouted against it, they didn't listen. Yacht, people shouted against it, they didn't listen. Building of houses for Mr. President or Vice President, they did not listen. So how do you dare expect people to follow you in good conscience? They said the man on whose behalf you are fasting should not be seen eating lunch. That's the way the Yoruba say it. So you want Nigerians to fast and because of you to succeed, and yet the biggest beneficiary of that success, people are seeing you enjoying life. You are not even ready to compromise your own personal lifestyle. Then people are not going to follow you. The key element of leadership is trust. Once people trust you, when the disciples of Jesus trusted him, he told them to come. You will float on water. They will believe him because they can see him himself floating. So it shouldn't be a case of do as I say and not as I do. And that is why I am saying in that letter that the greatest thing you can do for Nigeria is to make that personal sacrifice. Sell off all this presidential jet. Before you became president, God bless you, you had your own private jet. You can go back to it. If your entourage needs to come with you, call Air Peace or any airline that has good planes in Nigeria, and they will supply. You will pay. The money remains in Nigeria. That's the way it should be done. So if the Pope is going somewhere now...
There are those who will say, okay, there are those who will say, show me one country that does that, where their leader fly private jet. Those who make the assertion or the debate that it's is a national security matter. But Chief Dele Momodu, before you go, I'd like you to touch on the issue of the Dangote refinery and some of the controversy that has arisen in that regard. It's becoming messy by the day, and some of the utterances and the response gotten from Mr. Aliko Dangote is looking that there is an effect directly on the private sector, on the petroleum sector. And you heard when he was speaking with the federal lawmakers, when they visited the facility in Lagos, something is amiss here. Are you able to decipher what exactly is going wrong?
Well, again, social media is awash and abuzz with the issue of this Dangote refinery. And instead of me rehashing what people are saying, let me just tell you my own solution. Mr. President, in this season of anomy in Nigeria, needs all the friends he can get in the private sector. Nobody should feel victimized. I saw the frustration in Dangote's voice when I was watching him on television. His hair has grown gray all of a sudden, almost looking like Wole Soyinka. And it's almost looking like it's a crime to be an investor in Nigeria. And I saw the reports in the Financial Times, in Bloomberg, and all of them. It will not help Nigeria. No matter what anybody has, I don't know who has grudges to bear with him, they should call him into a bedroom. If it is money, they should talk to him. Oh, we heard that you collected this, you didn't do that. Let them go and settle it behind closed doors. We cannot afford to wash this dirty linen in public. It's going to boomerang on all of us. And that's my attitude. And I believe this man has invested so much in Nigeria, just like other people. We have lots of good businessmen in Nigeria who are doing great things. We should encourage them and not, because if they all run away, now he said one of his friends is laughing at him because he warned him not to put all his eggs in one basket. I've seen other countries where Dangote invested. I've been to his plant in Ethiopia, I've been to his plant in Zambia, I've been to his plant in Tanzania, and I can see the efforts those countries are making to accommodate him there. We should not chase our businessmen away. I'm sure other business people in Nigeria are watching and they say, hey, if this can happen to Dangote, it might happen to me. And everybody is scared. We should not create this panic. We can't afford this at this time.
All right. Chief Dele Momodu, a former presidential hopeful and a journalist and publisher. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me, Shehu. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. One person that Chief Dele Momodu referred to in his open letter is Senator Ali Ndume. He has asked the president to listen to Senator Ali Ndume, but Senator Ali Ndume is also my next guest on the program tonight, and he will be joining me right after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's turn our attention to the matters of national security, and especially focus on security in the northeast region of the country. It was a dark Saturday last month. I think it was June the 29th, when some suicide bombers attacked Gwoza local government area in Borno State, killing about 18 people and several people too were injured. About a month down the line, leaders in that community are rallying support for the people, those who are directly involved in the attack, in a situation that has become more or less a shocker to a lot of people, because that was an incident that was that happened after months of similar occurrence in that region. Don't forget that Borno State has been hard hit by activities of Boko Haram insurgents. They have rampaged the northeastern region, states of Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno State. The senator representing that area is Senator Ali Ndume, a former chief whip of the Senate, and is live with us from our Maiduguri studio. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us tonight. Our heart goes to the victims and, of course, the families of those who lost their loved ones in that attack, and the people of Gwoza. Thank you so much indeed. Let's begin with what we saw yesterday, day before yesterday, in the effort in rallying support for the people of Gwoza. How is Gwoza today?
Well, Alhamdulillah, Shem, welcome back, you too, because it has been a while. I just came back from Gwoza yesterday, Sunday, spent 2 nights there. I went there purposely to condole our people after the 29th June incidents where multiple bombs exploded and killed over 32, or exactly 32 people, and injured about 85 people. So we went there to condole the people. But what I'm happy with is the resilience of the people. Because as we are going back, we got into Gwoza after 2 o'clock or around 2 o'clock, and people were busy on their farmlands. The military are there, they are picketing and giving them confidence and support. So Alhamdulillah, life is picking up in our place. And we are hoping that if the rainy season comes down well, our people will get out of this problem. Normally we are subsistent farming people. And we are praying to Almighty to give us a bumper harvest during this rainy season. And so far, so good.
Give us an understanding. It's been a while that we saw this kind of thing in Gwoza. And a lot of people say, God forbid, any kind of situation like this. I mean, as a leader in that area, have you been able to learn anything? What could have been a major cause of this suicide attack? There's a major one, at least, that we have experienced in that area in months.
Well, let me say that we have learned our lesson. What has happened is destined to happen, but it was, I think, because of our overconfidence that virtually this incident of especially EID blowing up has come to an end. And the insurgents or the terrorists took advantage of that our people are relaxed. Otherwise, in those days, our people go through screening by the military when they are going to their farms in the morning and when they are coming back. And that one was relaxed because we thought that everything is fine. suddenly we had this shock. But fortunately, as I said, the military intervened quickly and swiftly, and that also reduced the level of casualty. As you can see, the last suicide bomber was arrested, and when she was about to be arrested, she detonated the bomb and killed one civilian JTF, and even a soldier lost his life. So our people are more vigilant now. As I told you, I spent 2 nights. The people are so vigilant. There is a curfew for now. That is what they are doing. And also, they have reintroduced some measures of having identity when you go out to your farm. The security do their check-ins in the morning before 8 o'clock. You line up and you get your token, go to your farm. When you are coming back at 5:30 or from 5 o'clock, you surrender the token at the checkpoint. And that is a very good measure. And the military are doing patrol in the night to ensure that no strangers is knocking around. I can tell you that just as like we are in Maiduguri here, if you're outside, you hear about Maiduguri, you think it's a hell. But inside Maiduguri, I'm just coming from my house to your studio, which is about, I think, 4 or 5 kilometers away. Maiduguri, inside Maiduguri, I can say, is safer than Abuja. I said it before. And now Gwoza too is very safe, and my concern was with their level of confidence, whether they are demoralized. But they still go back to your farmlands. Fortunately, one of your reporters was with us, Dogara. He saw everything himself, and he was amazed. He slept in my house.
Senator, let me ask you quickly. These suicide bombers, when you were speaking with your people in Gwoza, are these some of them, are they, because they probably have seen them for the eyewitnesses who experienced the situation. Are they locals? Are they people that they know? Who are these people?
I'm not
From
hearing
what you are being
that
told,
well. Can you...
Do we know anything about them?
Banajish.
All right. So I'm asking, these suicide bombers, these people who strap themselves with these IEDs, are they people that are identifiable by the community people? Are they locals? Are they members of the community? Or who exactly are they?
Well, let me tell you, as at yesterday, before I came, I had a meeting with the GOC and the brigade commander. They are still doing their investigation. But one thing we are sure, and I interacted with the women and the remains of the suicide bombers. Their faces doesn't look at all like people from Gwoza. And be rest assured, somebody would have identified them. So these are people that were brought in because the women plaited their hair and their hands, they have this nalle, or they call it, because they were convinced or indoctrinated to believe that once they detonate the bomb, they are going to heaven straight. The first one was with her daughter. She was holding the hand of her daughter, and people who thought they were beggars. So as she detonated the bomb, it was then instantly 8 people lost their life. And just nearby, when they were preparing the dead ones for funeral, the second bomber detonated the second bomb. And when the people were evacuated to hospital, again for treatment, the third bomber detonated at the hospital. Fortunately, there was no casualty, but people sustained injuries. And the fourth one was the one that was to be arrested, and she detonated the bomb again, killing 1 soldier and a civilian JTF. As a result of the swift reaction of the security agencies, asking everybody to go into his house. So, you know, they will now, if the other one, the last one, didn't have, she was just coming, a stranger, so she had no house to go, and therefore the security agency confronted her, and that was how she detonated the bomb. So I can tell you that these people are from outside, not really from within Gwoza. But we are suspecting highly.
Senator, yeah.
We are suspecting highly that maybe they have connivance or people that are informants or whatever, because you can't get somebody coming out directly from the bush or from the Mandara Mountain, because we are suspecting that maybe they are from the Mandara Mountain, where it's one of the black spots, or from Sambisa all the way, which is not far away from Gwoza. We still have some security challenges, but the military are up to it.
An unnerving question for you, because I'm looking at how we can put a permanent stop to some of these craziness in people just waking up and saying, my goal today is to go and kill another human being and put an end to people's businesses and put an end and bring misery to a particular group of people. Now, those who are attributed that some of what we have seen in the insurgency in the Northeast could be related to the failure of the political elite, which had grown into some kind of poverty and grown into anger and this kind of mental and psychological reorientation that is leading some of these people to it. Has the people or the people of this area, you being a member of the political elite, is there any lesson that has been learned in ensuring that this kind of scenario does not play out again ever in our country?
Well, let me tell you, Sean, this is not an issue of blame. It's not a blame game. The only mistake that we as politicians would take responsibility for is when this thing started. And I think I was a victim. When I was raising the concern about this Boko Haram earlier in the previous government, even during Jonathan, Iletier Adua, and people were politicizing it. It is not an issue that you can only blame the politicians. We also, in our place, are blaming ourselves, because by the time this thing was going on, people were not coming out to expose these people, provide information that would have led to nipping it in the bud until it started getting out of hand. And now that it's out of hand, and we even have external forces joining them, that is the ISWAP from the ISIS, and we have the Boko Haram, and we have criminals among them. So one cannot say that this thing will be brought down to zero level. But as it is now in Gwoza, Gwoza is coming back. As I said, when journalists visited me today, so far during the government of Professor Babagana Zulum, in my local government, 10 villages, including Gwoza itself, were resettled. And we are still going on, because next now there are villages like Asgashia, Wala, and Kuranabasa to be settled. So as you can see, there is a tremendous progress being achieved by the state government, especially under the leadership of Professor Babagana Zulum. If all this effort is sustained and he has more support that he requires, because everything will require resources.
Senator?
Yes.
Yeah, let me ask you. I was speaking with Chief Dele Momodu earlier, who wrote in his letter.
I can't hear you very well.
Listened to by the president. And as much as I don't want to go back into the scenario which left you being removed as a chief whip, but some of the anger which you have as a leader in the APC about the handling of this government in some of the matter of state. And I'd like to know, because you headed the committee in the Senate of the Army, the solution and the solutions are the issues here. Part of your disappointment is that the right things are not being done. Give me an understanding of what you think will be the right thing to be done in fixing this problem. Is the Tinubu government doing the right thing in solving some of our security problems?
Sorry, Shehu, that last conversation, because you know I'm in Maiduguri and we have issues with communication. So can you take that again so that I can hear
let me quickly wrap it up quickly. Yeah. So I'm making reference to, I said, as much as I do not want to go into the issues that led to you being removed as the chief whip, because Dele Momodu has said the president should listen to you. But sadly so, your anger about the manner in which the state of the nation is, it brings me to the issue of solution and solution and solution. The question is, As a former chair of the Committee on the Army, is this government doing the right thing in resolving or fixing the security problems or challenges of this country? Do you think so?
Well, I can't say I can exactly answer this question straight out. But I can tell you that one of the major issues that I had and that led to, you know, my removal as the chief whip is my complaint that the president is not very accessible. If he's accessible, we would have told him this in a closed door, not on TV. But I can tell you that I made effort for myself. I made several efforts through severally. I wrote severally so that we can discuss some of these things. But I didn't have the chance. But I have no grudge now that we don't have any communication. But definitely we are moving forward in terms of the security in one area. In other areas like Zamfara, or what is happening in Zamfara, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, I can't speak that much about it, but we know that the security challenges are still there, even recently. What I'm saying is this security matter is a collective matter. Everybody should come out and talk about it. Everybody should do something, say something, so that we can bring it to an end. The earlier we keep on deceiving ourselves that it's all over or it's under control, then we will not get the control. But so far, I can't say the government is not doing anything. They are investing into it. The army are bringing in. Like in my place, as I said, I can talk about Gwoza. I went to Gwoza and sleep. I did not sleep with the soldiers in my house. I did not sleep with soldiers roaming around. So that means there's improvement in Gwoza. But as for other areas, this is not something that I can say. You have representatives from other areas that know what is going on. But in conclusion, I want to say, the main purpose of government is security and welfare of its citizens. So the government should concentrate more on that before any other thing. Any other thing is secondary.
It's over a year now since the Tinubu government got into office. And there are those who will point fingers at you. You are one of those who came we are very vocal about asking Nigerians to vote for your party. You believe in the capacity of your party to lead Nigeria. Over 1 year down the line, there are those who perhaps hold you by your babariga to say, Senator, some of the things that your party promised, Nigeria is not getting it. And those who will say, Senator Ndume, your party has failed in these and in these and in these areas. How do you defend your party in the face of this hardship that Nigerians are facing?
Well, as you said, putting it all, the APC is 9 years old, isn't it? And PDP, which was the former ruling party, spent how many years? I think 16 years, is it? 4 terms. And most of the damage started from them. As I told you, I'm not good at blame game. No, our APC, I was one time in PDP. It's not a matter of party now. It's no matter of Nigeria. It's not a matter of party. It's a matter of security and welfare of Nigerians. It's not a matter of party. It's a matter of hunger and insecurity that is facing us. So if we start the blame game, we will not get a solution. It's just Tinubu, as you said.
No, it's only 1 year old. Wait, it's a reality.
He's only 1 year old.
It's a reality of what is on the ground. Whether your party, you are one of the promoters of the party, you promised Nigerians that your party, under the Bola Tinubu government, will fix Nigerians. And there are those who are asking, Senator Ndume, did you lie to us?
No,
the promise that your party made to us is not being fulfilled. And that's the question I'm asking tonight.
No, I didn't.
Nigerians,
I didn't lie.
On this very program, you made a promise.
No, I'm sure if you will be fair to APC, we are just 1 year old. We are just 1 year old. Tinubu's government is just 1 year old. So if we give him a chance, and I'm sure he's listening to most of these complaints out there, and he is a reactive person. You can see, after we shouted on this issue of hunger, he released 20 trucks of grains to each state. He agreed to raise the minimum wage to 70,000. All these are progress. But because of the severity of the problem we're in, and because of people like you, you still say that nothing has been done. If somebody can achieve even these few things in 1 year, everybody was shouting that the fuel subsidy should go. And that was what triggered this problem. So it's not a single decision. Most Nigerians were asking for it. And I think the best thing is to encourage Mr. President to listen more, to open his doors more, and then to do what he needs to do more, because there is all indication that he is willing, or he should take responsibility for whatever we find ourselves. Unfortunately, globally, there is issue of hunger, there is issue of poverty, and it's global. But then that is not an excuse. We have taken government, and I'm sure
Are you able to persuade your people, Senator, are you able to persuade your people in your area about the planned nationwide protest? Some of them have called it hunger protest.
Well,
what would you tell them? Those who will say, we do not have food to eat. We do not have money. Our purchasing power has been terribly, terribly diminished. What do you tell them? Would you tell them not to protest, or how do you handle it? You are a political leader. What do you tell them in the face of the hunger in the land?
I told you the situation my people are. We are 21 days or 22 since this incident happened on the 29th. We are struggling to go back to farm. We are struggling to survive. And we can see that the state government and other agencies are coming here out to help us. We are dealing with that situation. Do we have time to go and protest again? To protest to who? So I doubt so much if protests will happen in Maiduguri. But that is not to say that people should not show their grievances. My fear is, in most cases, looking at what happened during the NSAS, I hope it doesn't get out of hand. And more especially when we cannot identify the leadership. That makes it more difficult. Because there is a need before strike, even Labour that went on strike severally, they normally issue out warning. Now we only see the warning to go on strike. We don't know who are the faces. But as I said, that is not it. In my place, we are picking our pieces.
Senator, Senator, we are totally out of time, but in 30 seconds, if you may, the NLC leader had asked the president to listen to Nigerians in the light of the planned nationwide protest. Do you agree with him? If the president is to listen, in what way can he show Nigerians that he's listening?
Take that question again. I don't hear you.
The NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress, had come out counseling and advising the government of the day to listen to Nigerians in the light of the planned nationwide protest. If the president is to show to Nigerians that he actually is listening, how would he show it? Just in 30 seconds. We need to close.
Just close. I saw second. I second his motion.
You have been removed as the chief whip of the Senate. You do not have the opportunity to move that kind of motion.
No, I didn't move the motion.
So the NLC, wait. It's not a motion. I'm asking you a question.
No, the NLC moved the motion.
To show that he's listening to Nigerians.
No.
Yes.
The NLC chairman raised that motion. Tell him I second his motion. That the president should listen to the Nigerian
people.
Eh?
How would he show it?
I second the motion.
How should the president show that he listens?
Let the president listen.
How would the president show that he listens?
No, I think the president should talk. I think the president should talk to Nigerians or talk to the youths.
Senator Ali Ndume, thank you very much for talking to us tonight.
By the way,
some people will refer to you as controversial.
By the way, I thought you were sacked.
Huh?
By the way, it went viral that you are sacked. What happened?
Fake news. Fake news.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Senator. I appreciate your time tonight.
All right, bye-bye.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for being part of the program. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.